Every spring and summer, countless kittens are found outdoors by caring members of the public. Some of them are feral or unsocialized to humans, and some of them are so young that they can't survive without specialized care. Many of them are sick or in critical condition. Being so young and vulnerable, babies can suffer from exposure to the elements or exposure to illnesses in the colonies where they are born. During kitten season, these babies pour into the U.S. shelter system by the thousands, coming in buckets and in boxes, and in the arms of panicked Good Samaritans, in desperate need of a safe place to go. Looking into the faces of these kittens, it's easy for everyone to agree that they are all worthy of our care and our protection. And so we build up foster programs. We start kitten nurseries. We try to gain public support for programs that save kittens' lives. We pour our resources, time, and money into saving these little lives, these worthy little lives. And kitten rescue feels like this uphill battle that never ends. The kittens just keep coming and coming and coming. Sometimes as a movement, we're so caught up in the never-ending flood of kittens that we forget to step back and see the bigger picture. We neglect the opportunity to take a full circle approach that saves the kittens who do exist while also preventing more from being born. You see, kitten prevention is not as simple as telling people to spay and neuter their companion animals. Because the fact is that the majority of kittens born in the United States every year don't come from companion animals at all. 80% of the kittens born in the US are born outdoors. So when you find a kitten outside, they didn't just emerge out of thin air. They're not dropped off in the neighborhood by a stork. They're not born from the local raccoons and possums. These kittens have families. They have mothers and fathers. They have a history.
That's Cider's mama.
Cider have white questions?
Yeah, he looks just like her. Hi. She does look just like Cider. You're the mama?
If you find kittens in your community, those kittens are telling you a story. And the story is that somewhere nearby, there are cats who need your help. Go to a place where a kitten was found, and I promise you'll start to notice an incredible trend. Here are a few examples. These orange kittens were found in a neighborhood, and when I went back and visited, look who I found. Or what about Raina, this tiny tortie who was found on a sidewalk? On that same street, here's a mama cat who looks just like her. And sweet Ruthie, track down her address where she was found, and you'll find an entire family of color points. I love to share photos like this because I think it helps to illustrate a very important point, that over and over, you're going to find that your rescued kittens do in fact come from colonies of cats. These cats are community cats. They're free-roaming cats who live outdoors, and without our intervention, they will breed exponentially. As this cycle repeats itself year after year, you might start to ask yourself, what are we even doing if we're simply rescuing individual kittens from these colonies and leaving behind the families to continue to procreate? The kittens will never stop coming, and the population will simply grow year after year, and our work will never be done. It's like there's a hole in the bucket, and sometimes we're so busy trying to clean up the mess and mop the floor that we forget that we can also plug the leak. And so I started to take a different approach that I call full circle. A full circle program is a promise to the kittens that they will be the last to be born in their colony, so that no future kittens will have to suffer, and so that their family will stop being a constant source of kittens entering the shelter system. I call it a full circle program because it's a holistic, big picture strategy that makes a permanent impact for the community and stops the kitten crisis exactly where it starts. A full circle program is a community cat sterilization program, but in the context of kitten prevention, it's specifically targeting the colonies where rescued kittens are found. A full circle program works like this. a kitten is brought to an animal shelter or rescue. As part of the intake process, the organization must ask the finder the location of where the kitten was found and document that information. It needs to be a specific address or at least a cross street. This is the most important part because if you don't know where the kitten is from, you can't help their family. It's also critical that shelters be willing to share this information with their transfer partners so that if the kitten goes to a rescue, that rescue has the option of going out and helping the family too. Once the kitten is in the organization's hands, it's up to them to start the process. The sooner you can get out to the colony, the better. In some cases, you'll be able to find the mama and you can reunite the babies right away. In other cases, you might find that there are additional kittens who need help, and you'll be so glad that you went to check out the site. When you go to the neighborhood, your job is to collect as much information as you possibly can. You walk, knock, and talk. Speak with neighbors. This part is so important. I'll usually say something like,
"Knock, knock, knock. Hi, my name is Hannah and I work with a local cat rescue organization. I'm here because I actually rescued some kittens who were born on your block. Have you ever seen these kittens before? Here's a picture." So I'm just walking around the neighborhood and talking to people, trying to get some more information about the cats in your area. Do you ever see cats walking around the neighborhood? Where do you see them? Do you know who might be feeding them? Oh, you're the one feeding them? That's great. Thank you so much for your compassion. I actually brought you a couple of bags of cat food that I can give you. And what I'd love to do is come back in a couple of days with some humane traps. I'm gonna set the traps around the neighborhood, and if I have your permission, I would love to set some in your front yard or in your backyard where you're seeing cats. And what I'll do is bring the cats to be sterilized and vaccinated, and then I'll bring them right back a couple days later so that the cats will get to continue being here. You can keep feeding them, but this way they just won't keep creating more and more kittens in the alleys and under your porch. How does that sound? Awesome!
Usually 1 or 2 questions will be enough to open up the floodgates, and people will tell you everything. They'll tell you, oh yes, they're being fed by a couple down the road. They'll tell you, oh, we find kittens every few months underneath our shed back there. They'll tell you, actually, we have some kittens in our yard right now. They'll tell you we know who the mother is. They'll tell you so many useful things. And of course, some people will be happy to talk to you. Some people will tell you to go away. Either way, you can go a long way with some free bags of cat food, some kitten photos, and some patience and kindness. You have to be patient with people, but also be persistent. Sometimes people are feeding cats in a neighborhood and they feel embarrassed, or they're scared that you're there to take the cats. So be a source of compassion and empathy for them. Show up with a bag of kibble and tell them that you think it's awesome that they love the cats, but keep bringing it back to the kittens. I just keep reminding people, I'm fostering some kittens from this neighborhood, and I'm just here to make sure that everybody gets spayed and neutered so that I don't have to keep rescuing kittens from this neighborhood. You can show them photos, explain that you're there for one reason and one reason only, to ensure that no more babies are being born in that particular colony. It can take some time to survey the area. Sometimes you need to go back 2 or 3 times before you've got rapport with the neighbors, or before you know exactly how many cats are there and where they congregate and what time. But don't give up. Once you feel that you know the need, you can set your appointment with a spay-neuter clinic. Be sure you're choosing a clinic that accepts community cats. Then you want to access some humane traps. There are lots of trap loan programs, often with the clinic you're using or with a local animal rescue. Try to get as many traps as there are cats in the colony, ideally. Make a plan to trap the day before the appointment, at the time of day when the cats are used to eating. And make sure that the caregivers in the neighborhood don't feed the cats that day. You need them to be hungry enough to step inside the trap. Bait the trap with some delicious food. Items like stinky fish or wet food do great. And then set that trap and stand by at a distance. Once you've caught the cat, cover them completely in a large towel so that they stay calm. Bring them to the clinic for their appointment. The clinic will spay or neuter them, provide vaccination, and give them an ear tip, which is a sign that they've been through the program. Hold the cats for recovery overnight, leaving them in their trap. The next day, if they are bright and alert and have no post-operative concerns, you can return them to their colony. And of course, keep returning until all of the cats in the colony have been sterilized. By engaging in a full circle approach to kitten rescue, you can do some pretty amazing things. One of the amazing things you can do is reunite kittens with their mother. Reuniting moms and babies allows the babies to receive the very best care in the world, while also reducing the need for bottle baby foster parents. And the mamas can then be sterilized so that there's no more babies born in the colony.
Check under the hood. Oh yeah, that's mom. So you can see this is the mom. She's lactating. She looks just like her babies, so we're gonna reconnect her with her little guys. Oh, she's cleaning her baby.
Full Circle also helps community members who are so grateful when someone shows up to offer them help. Over and over again, you'll have people thank you, hug you, and express their gratitude, not just for helping those kittens from their community, but also for showing up in compassion and empathy to help them solve an ongoing problem, one that may have been going on for years. And of course, Full Circle helps the shelter, because kittens entering the shelter doors often come from the same neighborhood year after year. You're making a permanent impact by stopping the kitten crisis at its source. It is our duty as a movement to make this happen. The Full Circle strategy is something we should all be aiming for, whether we are private individual rescuers or large municipal shelters. It's not enough to simply scoop up kittens every single summer. It's time that we work smarter, not harder, and make a lasting change for kittens by bringing kitten rescue full circle.